Hello everyone, this is a very special show coming from Air Force Station Yelahanka on the second day of Aero India. We have the Chief of Air Staff, Air Chief Marshal Baduria sir with us. Thank you sir for your time.
You're welcome.
Last Aero India, you were playing a different role, and this Aero India, different role. How has been the show in the last 2 days? A lot of new things added, which weren't part of the show's last few editions.
There were many challenges this time. That was the major difference. And the COVID restrictions in place, which prevented some of the foreign aircraft to take part, was one of the new realities. It did affect some of the companies from other countries to come in. Despite the COVID, the decision to hold the show and convert it to hybrid and our will to go ahead with it, I think has resulted in what we have seen. I think given the COVID issues and the protocols and the problem areas, what we have achieved is really fantastic overall. We've been able to put up a good fly past and a flying display. The overall conduct in terms of layout of the exhibitions, exhibitors, number of exhibitors, the kind of participation from the Indian industry and all the big companies from abroad, I think that has been fantastic. So overall, I think it's a huge success, especially given the challenges. I think on the Chiefs Conclave that you asked, we had basically planned the Chiefs Conclave to get the leadership and have this opportunity to interact with them on all the issues that deal with air power, the technological growth that are taking place, the directions that we are taking, the important issues. So we had chosen three themes basically to look at, and that again, in spite of the COVID issues, we had excellent participation. We had nearly 28 chiefs and commanders of the air forces around participating, 9 of them physically and rest on VC. And in terms of their delegates and in terms of senior leaderships detailed by the chiefs, there were many others. So overall, 50 plus countries participated in this conclave. So I am really thankful to all the chiefs for really making this happen. And we had some very fruitful discussions on the status today and the directions that air power is taking.
So these kind of discussions on air power and challenges where the chiefs all get together, has it happened in the past or is the first time?
On this level, at this scale, and with this
Intensity.
intent and content, I don't think, I'm not aware. But it was a very fruitful session, and for us to get together on the same platform and share ideas and speak our mind, it has been great. I think it was really wonderful.
So where is this going to go forward after this? Have you people decided, okay, next step after this conclave, some decisions, or it's...
No, it's basically sharing of ideas, opinions, increasing the level of cooperations, our understanding at the international levels. Of course, now the way it goes forward depends on bilateral, multilateral, and the group of similar-minded nations taking it forward. So that call wasn't part of the plan that we take a call what we do next. Idea was to share our thought process, opinions, and thereafter everybody will do the needful as we go along.
And we come to Tejas. It has been all over in the last couple of weeks, and finally the 83 orders, much awaited, and the new planned HAL inaugurated all that. So definitely onus is now on HAL to stick to the deadlines what has been given in terms of production, means upping the production, all that. Although on all those lines, did you get to speak to them, give some new directions?
Firstly, let me say that I'm glad where we have reached on Tejas, starting from the initial version, the FOC version, and finally this placement of 83 in addition to the 40 already done. Because one issue is it is indigenous. Second issue is a lot of effort has gone into it from our scientists, R&Ds, from our labs, from private sector. So If we had not got this right, we would have lost a couple of decades in from aerospace fighter aircraft design and manufacturing. So this is very, very important. In terms of capability, I think we have again come a long way, both in terms of what we have done from FOC Tejas to what we have ordered, better sensors, better electronic warfare system, air-to-air refueling capability, which will give us extended reach. And some other things, plus huge lot of improvements in maintainability aspects. So overall, the Tejas story has really fructified, and that's a huge achievement. And I think the second issue is for our indigenous industry. It is a very big milestone. Very big, 48,000 crores of money going into a project. It may be with HAL, but HAL will have its downside, second tier, third tier, MSMEs, private sector participation. So it will make a huge change in our aerospace industry, and their capability to go up further in R&D and further designing and manufacturing. We will see a sea change.
As the Chief of Air Staff, you have seen now in the last 1 year a lot of Desi systems getting inducted, all that. Now, what is that your vision? What is that you would like to tell the plane makers, the industry, the ecosystem?
It is now important to get the manufacturing and the issues related right. That means timely deliveries, quality, the way our possibilities of upgrades later on, the way industry needs to come up, the level of participation from the private sector side and MSME sides needs to be enhanced. We need to bring in efficiencies, cost effectiveness. So, the whole lot of things that are involved in manufacturing at this level, everything should be looked at carefully. Finally, from the Air Force perspective, HAL needs to deliver on time and good quality stuff. From industry perspective, they need to grab this opportunity to really make the aerospace fighter ecosystem, develop it to an extent where we can jump to the next level. That means AMCA or the LCA variants that are going to come up later. So it's an opportunity that we must capitalize on.
Having pushed a lot of homegrown programs back them, what's your take on the current status of the futuristic programs like Mark II, AMCA during the show, or what is the kind of direction that you're giving for all those programs?
No, we've had discussion at the required levels on all these issues. I think after LCA, what is important is AMCA is most important because it is the fifth generation that we need to launch off now for it to come in quick time. We are in fact already a little late on this, but we must launch that fast. So that is the highest priority. That is in the final stages. I think DRDO is working hard to make that happen soon. On LCA variants, there would be a requirement depending upon when AMCA comes, and to fill that gap, there would be a variant, and I think there is place for LCA Mark II. There are discussions that are taking place. I think in due course we'll take a call on that.
And so finally, the purpose of this program is again to inspire youngsters. What is it you want to tell the youngsters who would eventually join Air Force or India's armed forces?
Oh, to the young air warriors, or to the youngsters who are going to become air warriors, or to the youngsters who want to join the aviation industry. I think it's equally applicable. We have to start believing in our indigenous industry. Finally, military strength and you become a military power in real terms when you have your own equipment. And that is a story I think we need to develop, and that is the change that we need to bring in. We need to have our own indigenous developments.
Thank you so much. So finally, you are a Tejas man and I'm a Tejas fan. So here is one small Tejas thing that we made for all the Tejas fans who are coming to Aero India.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
I
you for
proudly wear it on my overall.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
for
you
your
very
time,
much.
sir. Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you for doing stories on LCA and encouraging the youngsters. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Jai Hind.